So I'm going to get started. I don't have pumpkin pie spice in my spice cabinet, and you don't need it either. We're going to make it really quickly here for this pumpkin creamer. I have ground some cloves. If you have ground cloves, that's good too, but I just didn't have any. What I'm going to mix in this is a tablespoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of ginger, and if you're using ground cloves, then all you need is a half a teaspoon of ground cloves. And there you have it, pumpkin pie spice. We're going to go ahead and get started on our pumpkin spice coffee creamer. Y'all don't need to buy the big jars of it at the grocery store, and you certainly don't need to go to a big coffee house to get your fix, your pumpkin spice mix for your coffee. We're going to make this, and you're going to love it, love it. The first thing, of course, I've got a saucepan here. I'm going to add a cup of heavy cream. I'm going to add a half a cup of milk, whatever kind of milk that you prefer. If you like, whole milk or even almond milk, whatever it is that you have. And I have kind of like a medium heat. You do not want to boil this. No. Bring it up to a steam, turn it off, take it off the heat, and, well, we'll get there, but you don't want to start boiling this. I've got 3 tablespoons of pumpkin puree, and I know that y'all have heard this before, and I'm going to say it just this once, I hope, but not pumpkin pie filling, pumpkin puree. I have personally never used pumpkin pie filling in a can. So I don't know if people get that mixed up or what, but just give that a good whisk. I'm going to add a can, let's see, what is it? It says 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. Yum. And I bought, I believe it's fat-free. You buy and use whatever it is that you prefer. I'm going to add, now if you have, your own homemade vanilla extract, and I hope that you've made some, but use in whatever kind of vanilla extract, that you have. All you need is 1 teaspoon. I'm using my spice rum extract, and that's probably a teaspoon, maybe a little more, and that's okay. And I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of my pumpkin pie spice that I just made up just a moment ago. Just 3 teaspoons. And as I said before, there's no reason for y'all to go out and buy pumpkin pie spice already blended for you. If you have really basic ingredients, then you can make pumpkin pie spice blend. I mean, it's really easy. You have the ingredients, make it yourself. Get some jars, and it's already looking super, super good. But I'm going to, like I said, just bring this up to the point where it's just starting to steam. And I'll be back at that moment. So I'm just starting to come up to a steam, as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And I don't think it's so hot that I have to remove it off the heat. Certainly if you think that you're just too hot, you really should move it off of the heat. But I think this is fairly well heated through, and the spices are incorporated. I did have just a wee bit of a taste, but we're going to add it to a little bit of coffee, but I want to let this cool off just a little bit before I decant it into my container. And the one thing that you want to do when you're allowing this to cool off is, to come back every couple of 5 minutes or something like that, and give it a whisk to make sure that you don't have a film to start on your mixture here. So I wanted to add this video in with the others, but I've actually measured this. This is 32 ounces. Now, y'all already know that I have definitely poured some of this in my coffee this morning. So I'm going to say what I made this morning is 32 ounces. To compare it to some of the other prices that y'all are probably seeing in the store. And I wrote it all down. The only one that comes close to the same price, and I priced mine up the very best that I could, and for this, as is $3.71. I compared all of the other ones. There's Starbucks, there's International Delight, there's Coffee Mate, there is Great Value Pumpkin Spice Coffee Creamer, there's Dunkin', and then there's International Delight Sugar Free. But what I found is the only one that comes close is the International Delight at 32 ounces, which this is 32 ounces, and they are at $3.77. So I investigated a little bit further. Refer to my notes. I wanted to look at the ingredients that they used. And that's what I did. And they have water. The first ingredient is water, sugar, palm oil, sodium something, casein. It's a milk derivative. Dipotassium phosphate, carrageenan, mono and diglycerides, natural and artificial flavors, sodium sterol, lactolate, and salt. Well, that's quite the mouthful. I looked at, of course, the other ingredients to this, and I mean milk and cream. When I investigated the cream a little bit further, it has, of course, the regular things that you would think are in cream, but it does also have carrageenan. And what carrageenan is a thickening agent, and it is an extract from red seaweed. So there you go. Heavy cream is going to have that particular compound in it, but the rest of it, I guess dollar for dollar, it's up to y'all, but I personally prefer to make my own. I don't think it was that horrible much trouble, but I personally feel better knowing that, and some of these ingredients, I did not look up all of them. If that's what you want to do, you do you. But I feel comfortable with what I am and what I'm doing. And I have some other coffee creamer recipes that I'm going to be making over the next, month or so. And I hope that y'all watch those. But I just kind of wanted to bring y'all up to date on prices. And I really got it as close as I could. And it's probably in some instances, like I put a quarter or 50 cents or something in there for, spices. And that's probably way more than what it actually really is. But I wanted to err on the side of let's really see how this compares. So there you go. It's up to y'all. So I brought out my creamer out here to cool a little bit, and we're just going to see how this tastes. Now I have to qualify this by saying I have never, really never, been to any of the big coffee houses, or I have never even purchased the coffee creamers that you see like in the dairy case at your local store to compare this to. Never done that, but I do have a fresh cup of coffee here. We're just going to get the top on here if I can. We're going to see how this tastes. And this is what it looks like. I think this is going to be good because I have been tasting it. Now, I usually add a little bit of stevia in my coffee, but since this has like sweetened condensed milk, even though it's fat-free, I'm still going to say, you know, I'm not going to add anything to it. This is just coffee and the creamer. And I really have my doubts. Of course, I made a mess. But let's just see how this tastes. I think that's really delicious. Probably some of y'all would want more of the creamer in the coffee. I don't need any extra sugar in this, so that's always, you know, a good thing. But I'll have this for until this is gone. This is really, really good. I was actually very, very surprised that I like it. The one thing that I do need to do, and I am just notoriously bad about not labeling things, look at the date on your milk, look at the date on your creamer, and put yourself an expiry date on this. But I have a feeling that y'all are going to save a lot of money and a lot of time from running back and forth to the big chain coffee house or the grocery store with the bottles like this. You can do it yourself. Y'all know you're going to have some cans of pumpkin coming into the house really, really soon. This is almost too easy for you not to do, and I hope that you try it. It is delicious. There's going to be quite a number of pumpkin recipes coming up. There's going to be pumpkin pies, a couple of different variations that I hope y'all enjoy. I'm going to be making, I saw a little meme on the internet yesterday, and someone had a bottle, little short bottle of pumpkin butter. The big box store has put out their own pumpkin butter. I think I can do one better. I'm going to be making my own pumpkin butter, and so you don't need to spend the extra money. It's for ingredients that you already have in the house. Make it yourself and save. But I hope that you subscribe, and for those of you returning, I want to thank y'all so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you do. There's a lot of great pumpkin and fall, winter, Christmas recipes coming up. I want to thank y'all again for joining me here home at the Hollow. Goodbye, y'all.